Welcome to the Weekly Hijack.
Hello, everybody.
This is Lost Edition. Tonight's episode, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Man, I didn't remember much of this episode, but this is a very good episode.
It is. There's a lot going on here. It's always fun when you can tell the Lost writers are amping up for the finale of some sort, and lots of things are in a state of building.
I have to say, maybe there's other series that do it well, but Lost is absurdly good at the build-up for finales. I mean,
yes.
Their endings are not, whatever you want to say about the final ending, but generally, they'll just slow build all these pieces. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's, the button, there's Michael, there's, at the very end, Desmond's ship coming in, they got the whole, vaccine thing that's going to help set up something.
Yeah, reestablishing Echo, Charlie's
stuff.
With Echo, Charlie and Claire. The whole kind of search for Walt is kind of coming to a head, and the fight with the others is not to a head, but to a climax, sort of.
And it fills in a lot of the pieces.
Not final, but
fill in pieces about their confrontation with the others the first time, and how what Michael wrote on the computer.
Yep.
That takes a lot of talent on a TV show, I think. There's a lot of TV shows do not ramp up to finales particularly well. I mean, they're okay.
And juggling, like you said, juggling all this information. Because sometimes when you feel like they're trying to cram too much information, then the episode kind of loses focus. But this one somehow doesn't. It's an amazing kind of sleight of hand that they managed to include all this stuff.
Yeah, I didn't see who the writer of this one was, but I know if Lost did anything well, and they did lots of things well, I think structure generally it did very well. I mean, no one pulls off, whether you like it or not, season 5 without some sort of, insane sort of hammering out of how things work together.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
And they deliver finales like no one's business.
All right, well, let's start off with talking about Michael, because the bulk of the...
Oh, man.
You get the flashbacks this episode. They're all on island flashbacks. We get to see what he was doing before and after he took off, or while he had taken off to the others.
The guilt factor is crazy in this episode.
Yes. It's a very interesting episode, because I wonder how much the audience is torn between hate and sympathy for Michael.
Yeah.
I think different audience members will come off with different sides. They'll be like, "Yeah, I don't care. Screw him. He deserves everything that happens to him." And then there's other people like, "Man, I feel just so bad for him."
Even if I don't want him to kill those two people, but just the amount of every scene he's in is he's saying this or someone's saying this, and down here is what he's feeling. I mean, Echo always pulls out the interesting story.
Yeah.
And he's talking about hell and this dog and this boy, and then Michael's just oh, thank you.
Goes off and throws up, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just the most uncomforting story from a priest ever.
Oh, man.
But just perfectly fitting. I'm often also reminded in episodes like this why people got annoyed with Michael being, in some ways, such a one-note character. Yeah. In certain situations, it would be it's admirable trait, the constantly fighting for his son. But when that's the only thing that's coming out of his mouth for 40 minutes or something like that, it gets wearing on the audience. Sometimes.
And you can tell that even Miss Clue plays you seem to want him back a lot for not knowing anything. I mean, there's this dichotomy that even the characters sometimes bring up is he has to fix it. It's like a fixation that's almost greater than his son.
Yeah,
in some ways. I mean, in many ways, he loses his son because of this in future episodes. I mean, we only see one more episode, I guess, with Michael after this.
Yeah, I'd be interesting to diagnose what that is exactly. Is he like Jack in the constantly trying to prove himself? I can do this. I can, does Michael take the being a father make it too much about himself sometimes?
I don't know, because obviously it's a twisted version to a certain extent, because, I mean, it's called 3 minutes because they're trying to sell, because him seeing Walt for those 3 minutes basically solidifies that I will do whatever I can to protect my boy. Mm-hmm. And there's this almost twisted sense of I must protect this thing that is my son, but it doesn't matter what method, or it's yeah, that's all he has. Well, and there's a few other flashbacks. He has nothing else really.
Yeah. It's
the only thing that's I guess he's ever, he's an artist, ever really created in his life that he still has left. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm getting psychobabble-y, but
I mean, there's something there, I don't know, you just see in certain scenes, it really is about more than just his son, but then at the same time, after he does have that connection with Walt, he's pretty much broken down after they finally take him away. He's like, he's no longer the angry vindictive. He's like, I'll do whatever you say.
It's kind of like, have you read Great Divorce?
Yeah.
C.S. Lewis, when they go up there and there's just that one thing they won't give up.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much
that's
that sort of idea. It's like the love for my son trumps all things. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know whether that's even then still love in the real sense.
Right. Ooh, man, that's crazy.
If Libby was here, she could help us.
Yeah, but Michael killed her.
I know.
So.
Got dark quickly here.
Yeah. All right.
No, Miss Clues. I mean, I love. We're watching this whole other thing, and they have a hatch and everything, and then Walt comes like they're lying.
They're pretending.
They're pretending, which is the interesting thing. And in hindsight, we can see this sort of most of it is pretend. Well, back then, I mean, you saw the wig and stuff, but you're still like, how
much
you don't know? Yeah, it's got to be very ambiguous, and I wonder how long it took the audience first time to realize what Michael was trying to do with not letting certain people come and stuff.
Oh,
because we saw the list, like, oh yeah, the list. This is like a lost thing,
right?
Or an other thing. They love their lists, but
all those lists.
Man, I love that line. It just. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is a curious.
Something's off, but you don't know
why he's demanding those people. Yeah, that's a good point. It is pretty obvious in hindsight, but yeah. It's even pretty nebulous. Walt says they're pretending, but how much are they? I mean, obviously they do have some technology. They're holding guns. They've got plastic bags and needles and syringes. And stuff. But at the
obviously going to test DNA. I mean, that's got to be the implication of it.
Right. But I mean, there is a faction of the others they talk about later that they don't like living in Dharma Town. They feel like they've gotten away from the roots of the island too much. And
Mr. Friendly's always kind of been in Dharma Townville and Pickett.
Yeah. Right.
So, at least that we've seen.
Miss Clue always struck me as one of the more hardcore, like
she'd be living the temple.
Yes, yeah, most likely.
No, but here's the thing. She's like, I'll send you back to the room. What we know is
on the other island.
Yes, what is that, room
34? No.
42?
42? I forget what it is. But that crazy mine thing.
Because we see that in, there's that webisode, remember? Where Walt's in there and then all the birds are crashing against the...
Yeah.
Which is the thing is, Walt is obviously special.
Yes.
This is not ambiguous anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean...
Well, not
especially when you complete the whole series.
You complete the series. In the show, I don't know, but I don't know. Do you think of the show, like, people would... It's hard to say if it was ambiguous at this point in the show or not.
Well, Miss Clue seems to be really...
certain that there's something about him.
Unless she's lying about that, which I guess they could be.
Yeah.
But I don't think that, in hindsight, is true.
No.
So it does... I guess the one thing, even the Walt storyline kind of fell apart then after this.
He had a growth spurt, which is obvious even here.
Yeah.
They just kind of had to get him away.
But it does create several things that are necessary. It creates that there is such a thing as a special person. That the island's looking for these sort of things and children and whatever. And then it creates, so that when later on Hurley starts seeing dead people, that this is a world where those sort of things happen.
Yeah. Which,
in other shows may or may not, Mm-hmm. Everyone, the first time Hurley saw a dead person, I'm like, wait, what is it? But it just is.
Yeah. Yeah, there are other mysterious things in this world besides just the island.
Yeah.
Although interesting, as you pointed out, like the people that were on his list all make it to the very end of the show.
You wonder, I'm trying to remember why they picked those people. I think they explain. Well, I know why they want Jack.
Yeah, and some of that I think is just
security.
I think hostages basically, they keep Jack in line.
But I wonder, is this all Ben's list, or does Jacob have anything to do with this?
That's hard to say.
These are those are probably the top candidates.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
no, they probably are. Ambiguous. My inclination is that it's just Ben's list, but yeah.
Jake was very... It's hard to know how much... I would like to have seen how much Jacob and Ben actually interacted with each other.
Yeah, well, he had apparently had never seen Ben.
That's true, it was all through Richard.
Yeah, so, yeah, hard to say. And I guess, ultimately, it's not that important to the story.
And it does sound like Ben wasn't planning to be captured. Miss Clue said... Right, yeah. It must have been a misstep on Ben's part.
Yeah. A misstep is in misstepping into
a net
trap. Yeah.
Yes. We were caught in a net. Oh, is that what they're calling it now? Okay, so.
Sawyer.
There's a lot of other stuff, but I mean that's a lot of the
that's the
just
bulk
so
of it.
yeah. There's just so much.
I always appreciate Saeed being the voice of reason and the one who really is only the one who's equipped to handle some of the warfare and subterfuge that they deal with on the show.
Because normally he's not near as emotionally charged as everyone else. Right. I mean, he can be.
He can be, but normally,
I mean, Jack's always overly charged. Sawyer normally is too. Mm-hmm. Kate often is, but sometimes she's level-headed. You know, it just kind of depends whether if she's not personally invested, she can be even-handed.
Occasionally, she can take an outside perspective and step back. It's like, wait a minute, why are we doing this? Yeah. So I appreciate that from Saeed. It was nice to see some more Charlie. You know, Charlie doesn't get a whole lot of screen time this season.
No, not in the second half.
Not in the second half. So it was good to see him kind of rekindling with Claire.
And Locke took his leg things off.
Yeah, and actually, and I also really appreciated it was a nice touch after basically, you know, Charlie's kind of left alone again after Echo kind of abandons the church project, that Charlie's given this temptation with the heroin statue. Yeah. And throws it away. He's like, "No, I'm not doing this again. Yeah. I'm not going to this cycle."
The church never gets built, but building the church helped help balance Charlie out to a certain extent.
It's an interesting thought. I hadn't ever thought about it before. It was very therapeutic. Yeah, even if it wasn't ever finished.
And connecting back to his faith roots, you know, which Echo helped, but you know, certainly being. I mean, Echo was a nice and poor Charlie. He's always on the outside of of all the big schemes, just trying to fit in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is, in third season, you do kind of get the sense when he and Claire are on very good terms that, you know, it's kind of like right when he was almost accepting his role as just, look, I'm just going to be the stay-at-home dad, basically.
Yeah.
And then we lost him.
Stay at beach dad.
Stay at beach dad.
Also, Lost is great. Again, cliffhangers, there's many great ones. That I had forgotten the ship just showing up. I don't think, at this point, the audience have any clue why there's a ship there.
Yeah.
We've never seen that.
They might think it's an Others attack, honestly, at this point.
It's a weird, you know, it's a nice-looking ship.
Which reminds me, I might have missed it, but when Michael was being brought into the Others camp, did he see a boat? Because he asked for a boat.
Well, they stole Walt on a boat, originally.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay.
So I want a boat. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So he doesn't want to just leave the island. They want to get, you know, and obviously this shows you how much power Ben has if they're willing to trade Walt for whatever Ben wants done.
Yeah.
But it does seem like the others generally are very cultish in the sense that they just obey their leader no matter who their leader is. I mean, seriously, they just kind of do whatever. I mean, they question and whatever sometimes, but they just always kind of have this mystical faith in.
And whoever's in charge is supposed to be in charge. And
there's a lot of self-fulfilling destiny in the other theology.
Well, I think that's all.
We got a lot there. Yep, that's all we got.
All right, we are approaching the season finale.
Yeah, at some point, I don't know when, we'll watch Live Together, Die Alone.
It's a monster of an episode. Yeah. Which I think they split it up into parts originally, but it's all one massive whole on DVD, so that's how we're going to watch it.
Yeah.
And it plays nicely as a massive whole.
From what I remember. Right? Yeah. I remember it just, well, like all Lost finales, just way too many cool things going on at one time.
So stay tuned for that. You can always check in on us at derailedtrainsofthought.blogspot.com.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and leave us ratings on iTunes.
Comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
All that stuff is helpful.
Tell people that you love us, and then have them listen to the show.
And keep enjoying Lost.
Yes. Forever. No.
Until next time, this is Tim.
This is Nick.
Bye.